Hi everyone, I'm super excited to host Tania Madah, founder and CEO of Lean Architect LLC. Thanks a lot for being on the show.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Tanya, take us back to your college days until this date. Like, what has been your major career highlights?
So it's a little complicated. I had my bachelor in food science and technology back home in Iran, and then I all of a sudden I called my mom and I said, "Hey, I'm leaving my job because I got a job right after college." And my mom was like, "What?" And I'm like, "I'm also leaving the country." So I went to Dubai, which all this architecture was happening, and I started in Wollongong University for MBA, and I just was mesmerized by architecture. Thought with myself that the people that were building at that time in Dubai, they were from North America. So I got to go to Canada in Toronto and do my equivalent, not bachelor, but it was like a degree that was equivalent to it in George Brown University college. And then worked for 3 years, got a really good scholarship, came to UTA, University of Texas at Arlington, did my master in architecture. And then I started working. I had to go back to college for the visa purposes. So I was like, let's make the best out of it. I went and studied agile project management in the University of Harrisburg. A little bit of like background in everything.
Got it. And what was the time when you got clarity? Okay, you want to dedicate your time and interest to built environment.
When I was in Dubai, I knew that that's something I want to do because it was just so nice that you imagine something and then you go ahead and build it. It's to me was the best feeling ever. I knew that when I like dedicating my time and the passion coming in was that when as someone in our as like project architect or when I was working with my team, I realized that we were under so much pressure for deadlines. We had all-nighters and we had to like stay and do the job because deadline is a deadline. And I realized that we are spending so much time on tedious, repetitive tasks. And I remember that I was working on a office building, which was 4 stories, and we never really got to do a proper sustainability or life study on it because we were very, very busy documenting. And that was when my passion came. Like, we are doing things exactly how we were doing them 25 years ago, but the technology that we have today doesn't even match with what we had then. So how can we use that technology and bring in that efficiency into our workflow so the architect can have some free time to focus on what really matters? That was when my passion really started working.
Got it. Any mentors or role models who made a big impact in your career?
A lot of them, yes, a lot of them. Bijan Yousafzadeh was one of my professors, and he played a really big role. Matt Mooney, which was a co-worker, and he had tons of experience. They all played role in, me just seeing what this industry is about. Because I was traveling from like the other side of the world, so I really didn't know much about what work looks like here in the US, and they all opened windows for me to just get that clarity of, okay, what is the need? And I had the coding background, so I knew that there is a solution to that need.
For people who have a bit unique journey like yours and want to find their own path and be around experts or like-minded people, what would be your advice to get into those circles?
Just show up. I think showing up is the most important part because I'm the chair of technology at AI Tech Labs, which we bring the industry together. So you're not just looking at it from architect's perspective. You're bringing engineers, contractors, manufacturers, all those perspectives together. Because imagine if I'm an architect and I'm very, very efficient and my consultant is not, we're not winning anything. We have to win this together. And we host sessions that are free for the industry. And I suggest to everyone to just show up. Because when you show up, you learn something new. You see a door open. You get an opportunity, a collaboration, something. We all need to connect. Individually, none of us win. So showing up is my first and last.
God, sometimes I feel like there are technology sessions, and if you're very new, like a bit newbie, you could find it a bit overwhelming. How do you navigate that? What are things I need to learn and incrementally, because there's so many terms and tools being thrown in such sessions?
That's a very deep question because, and I like that you asked it. So with this technology, a change is happening to us, right? And when a change happened to us, we react to it. We are like, I don't believe this is happening to me. I don't know if I can adapt to it. I don't know if I can learn it. I'm not going to even go because I don't want to embarrass myself, right? But if the change, you are part of the change, then it's like you are in driver's seat. You're not in the side, in the passenger seat. You're in the driver's seat. So you can push the brake whenever you want. So that fear goes away. So for example, whenever I talk about Rhino Grasshopper, people are like, oh, this is going to be really hard. I never opened Rhino. But as an architect, you don't need to. The technology people who write the codes, they are going to take care of it. So you only need to be able to open Rhino, and we'll teach you how to do that. So don't let the fear of unknown stop you.
So, what do you feel missing in people who are building disruptive tools and the adoption side? Because we have so many great tools, but so much less adoption.
Although I see a lot of great tools out there that really work, I see a lot of them that don't. And the reason I can be confident saying that it won't work is because I am an end user. At the same time, I am a developer. So I exactly know if you're making a tool that is not easy to use, it's not easy to work, it overrides the designer at any point, they are not going to use it, period. They're not going to use it. I learned it in a hard way because I have my own technology firm. I'm also the person that will be using it. That balance is probably the most important part of this equation. And the reason is that we need to study the pain first. We need to understand the process that is already making millions of dollars in this industry first, and then try to help that existing process. Not coming in with a new idea and say, this is the thing that you need to use. Go ahead and use it. They are not going to use it. And one thing is that in the firms, the people that are making decisions on which technology to purchase are not the people that are on the floor using it. And then you may have some people that have more passion about technology on the floor that are part of that decision making. But that doesn't mean that 90% the rest of the people that are on the floor are going to use them. So this finding the truth of what people on the floor, the end users need, and how are we really responding to that is the balance, is the goal, is the connection. We cannot override people. We cannot come and say, oh, you have been doing it this way for 20 years. From tomorrow, you're going to be doing it this way. They won't. Simply, they won't. You cannot micromanage people. They're not going to use it, period. So we need to understand this and we need to accept it. And we need to study what issue we're solving, then go and use all the technologies in the world to make the life of those people easier.
By that point, do you think it's relatively easier for a firm to do internal innovation and build products versus a startup? Because they can test, iterate, get feedback faster.
100%. This is something that I'm hearing in the tech conferences that I go. But there is an issue with that too. Architectural firms are having like small technology groups to be ahead of their game, very rightfully, right? So they, for example, have 10 people in a firm that is 250 people or more. They have 10 people that are focused on technology. One of the biggest issues that I'm seeing is that how these people, this resource, is connecting to the core and body of design and production in this firm. Some of the solutions that I heard is that, yeah, we are going to have few people from this body of design and documentation connected to this resource. And then these people go back on a monthly basis, tell the rest of these employees about that meeting. That's a waste. I saw it so many times that you go and tell people about something, you lecture about something, and then people go back to their very, very busy day and they completely forget about it, or they don't dare to give it a try. The best way to actually see something is working is if you have workshops that you take the first step with the people. So when you take the first step with them, the fear goes away, and then they fly. They don't need you anymore. But you need to be there when you say, give it a try. What can go wrong? I'm right here. And if they take that first step, then people, you can't stop them. And that's exactly what you want for your, I would want for my firm. You know, that people now have this feeling of, oh my God, okay, this can happen. So many times I taught something and then people came back, taught me some tricks that I didn't know. Remember, I was teaching them. They had no idea. And then they come back and teach you stuff. And that's the moment that I'm like, yes, it's working. That's the only time that it's really working. Because now everyone are thinking, and every brain. And not every brain is agreeing with you. And that's perfect, because you want some disagreement so you can improve the product.
It's quite interesting take, which makes me curious how you're embodying that in your own company, services, and the people you collaborate.
In my own company, we are a tech company, so we are very agile. It flows. We collaborate. We're always talking. It's just like that flows. Combining lean, we're combining agile. We don't really have inefficiencies. We're getting to that sweet efficient point, and we are making our products. Whenever anyone sees any inefficiencies there, they raise hand. They're like, "Oh, here we can improve it." So it's very collaborative. And one of the reasons is that we are small, and I need to plan for when we get bigger. But when we work with companies, the architectural companies, engineering companies, construction companies, or manufacturing, we don't tell them, here is the group, here is the production line, let's have a couple of people, few people, connect them. That's not. Remember, that collaboration is heavy on people. People from this side and people from this side need to connect. And this is not an easy thing, because people naturally, they don't want to do this. They don't want to go, hi, can I, it's not an easy collaboration. It's heavy on people. We need to make that collaboration and use of resources heavy on technology. So we need to create the technology in a way that is embedded in the culture and workflow of the firm. So the very busy people, remember, these people that are working on design and documentation, they are extremely busy. And there are still backlog works that they want to do and they don't have time for it. So some creativity is being sacrificed. These are very busy people. You don't want to put another work in their plate. You don't want to pressure them to do one more thing. They can't. So what if we use the power of technology to simplify everything and embed the tools in the softwares that they are comfortable using? So I give you an example. You have a sustainability resource here, 5-6 people working on sustainability, right? They know what kind of studies need to happen on buildings. Instead of them having so many meetings with these people, I'm not saying not have meeting to tell them what it is about, but also have the tool embedded in Revit. So they can push one single button and it's doing most of the work that they have to do. Then you win. Then your technology is working heavily to make sure that the process for these people are extremely easy. That's what we do when we go to work with architectural firms. We put the pressure on the technology, not on people.
So integrate in the processes. What are the things you learned the hard way after building products and using technology in the industry?
I learned it's not about the technology, it's about the people. That was the hardest thing, because you can create the coolest thing and people will be just like, it's really cool. I'm like, just drag it into your Revit. They're like, oh, no. And you cannot tell them No, you should, or you have to. You don't understand. They understand. You need to understand that your product is not good enough. That was the hardest thing.
What are your thoughts on digital transformation? If there is like 20 to 200% architecture firm wants to become tech native, what would you recommend?
This is again when you're asking all the deep questions, which is great. I cannot emphasize this enough. Architecture has two sides. It's art and science or mathematics. You need both. Both are extremely important. It's not sculpting, it's not pure art, it's not painting, it's not the pure science of creating a rocket. Don't even think of how it's going to look like. The only purpose of it is to go to there. It's none of these. It's a mixture. It's the mixture of two completely different things. Because art is art, but at one point it connects to the proportion, and that's where it marries to mathematics. So it's a beautiful thing that can function, right? Using technology to the point that it's not taking the art part of it out is good. But you forever need the innovative side of people, that touch. That last minute that you look at a canopy and you say, let's make it 2-inch shorter or 2-inch narrower. When you look at your building for the very last time and you say, maybe that needs to shift just a few inches. But you are making that building to feel right. The people that are not architects that are going to be walking in your building, they're going to just like it and they don't know why. But that portion of needs to stay, and technology should not even touch it. Technology should stay in that functional, making architects' life easier, providing data for the architect when they are going through design iterations. So the architect sees, oh, this is getting more beautiful, but I'm losing efficiency. But I'm losing the sustainability. So if architect wants to make that decision, at least they made a very known decision. They know that the sustainability and efficiency is decreasing, but they make that decision anyway. So the architect make that balance. That needs to be the architect. That cannot be technology. It needs to be, in my opinion.
Tania, what are some tools that makes you productive as a business owner and tools you think architects can use to make their life productive?
I don't think it's a tool. I think it's a mentality. Then you can grab any tool and use it. It's the mentality of efficiency. It's the mentality of seeing a waste and you're like, I don't want this in my business. Then you're going to go and find something or make something. The problem is that most of our attention is on the technology and which one to use. And we are giving so much focus onto technology. We should not. We should give focus on our process and our work and our buildings. And then that's where we should really focus on. Any technology can help. I see any technology like one of my pencils when I was sketching as an architect. When I was sketching as an architect, I knew if I go with H series, they're going to give me this grayer, lighter lights. And then if I was going with B series, they would give me this darker, smudgier. So I knew my tools, right? I see AI the same way I see one of my pencils. I see computational design the same way I see one of my pencils. So I pick this pencil now and fix it. I pick that pencil now and fix it. We're giving way too much energy and focus on technology. We just need to know our technology the same way we knew our pencils. And then just the mentality, just thinking about, okay, here's where I need help. Oh, this technology, I know it can help. Plug it in. That's it. So I cannot answer your question with which tool. Any tool that can help me, I'll use it. Any of them. That is easy to use, easy to learn, and does not override. If the technology is making decision for me, I'm not using it. I need to be the ultimate decision maker, period.
Can you share your hot takes on generative AI?
Everything starts with the process. Then you break it down into tasks. And then you look at the task and say, okay, which tool can help with this specific task? If we have perfected a task, and we feel like it's not going to get any better. Let's say bathrooms in airports. We have done it so many times. We perfected it. It's awesome. I think it's good to use generative AI there. Or when we have clean data, when we have a data that is perfect, it doesn't have human error in it, without doubt, and the design consider the best version of that to be created, then let's use generative AI when we are ready. Let's not use generative AI when we don't have good data. Our design is based on my years of experience. This is a good design. No. If your design is backed up with data, then use generative AI to duplicate it. Because whatever you put in there is going to be duplicated and duplicated and duplicated. So let's make sure that we don't have wrong or not clean data before using generative AI.
And then how does one prepare for a good quality data set?
You remember when I told you that the technology is like our pencils and we have to get the right pencil and create it? We need to get one of those pencils first and clean our data, like computational design. Let's use computational design and do some designs based on data. And also, let's use Revit API to clean our sheets for a period of time. Then let's use generative AI. A year or 2 years ago, I was in a conference and someone was like, if you are not collecting data, you are going to be behind or something. And I'm like, what data? Currently, our data is not clean. Why do we need this data? For example, let's say we're saying that how many people actually worked on this project? And then you'll have people that after hours worked on that project, but they didn't charge to the project. That's a data that we're missing. And that's going to mess up our expectation in the future because we will be just like, oh, in the past, people finished this many people working on it. But that's not true. So only gather data that is clean. And if it's not, use one of the tools, use Revit API add-ons, use the AI to clean it, use some computational design to back your design up with data and then collect it. Do not collect data that is not clean.
For founders and builders listening who wants to build products, what are some opportunities like you wish you would do if you had infinite time and money, but you couldn't do, but they can build it?
I was so lucky that I was the end user too. So I saw what was needed. I saw the pain. And then everyone in my company are architects or engineers. So we felt the pain at one point. And the reason we are doing this is not because we were not good at our job. We were very good at it, but we saw the pain and we believe we can have a solution for it. So as a first step, go to your end users and have a very heart-to-heart conversation with them. Understand the pain, then cure it. That's the first step, understanding the pain. That would be my piece of advice. But I was lucky. I came from that pain.
Any specific idea that comes to your mind that is a missed opportunity or there's no solution out there?
Yes. A lot of technology companies are focusing on architects or contractors or engineers. There are huge opportunities in between, in the gap, that collaboration between these three groups, and even more, even like the city or, the owner, the developer, all of them. AEC is a collaborative thing. It has one goal. We work towards mutual goal. We have mutual problems. And there are so many opportunities for the tech companies to come in and fill those gaps. Please look at AEC as a whole and focus on that gap and provide solutions. And it's a win-win because it helps more people. Also, your company is selling to more people. So it's a win-win. Why not focusing on this collaboration portion of it? The process, and I know that you may say, this exists, but if it exists, please show me because I can take it to my group so they can learn about it. It needs to exist in a way that people finally use it, okay? The process of us going through RFIs, submittals, going through field trips, like site visits, come back and organize everything, communicate it to the contractor is a mess. It's a mess. When the shop drawings come and we have to compare them against our own drawings, nobody wants to do that. All of this, if you fix them, you're helping architects, you're helping engineers, you're helping contractors, all of them. If it can be one solution, and that solution is not like a software with an interface that people have to spend hours and hours to learn. It's like a simple website that you can upload things and then get results from. This is gold. I would create it if my company was focused on that, but we are not.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I would like to do a rapid fire round. We'll have like 5 to 10 seconds to answer it, and you gotta keep it super brief.
Okay. Like one word?
Yeah, like few words. It's fine. What's your favorite architecture building?
Zaha Hadid's Heydar Aliyev Center in Baku.
City in your travel bucket list?
City. I'd like to go to Japan, so any city in Japan.
A book or a movie that made a big impact in your life?
There are a lot of them, but Rumi's poetry is something I go with every day.
Your favorite restaurant?
Knife in Dallas.
Best piece of advice you received till date?
Lately, I receive a lot of advices that you cannot change someone's life if they don't want to.
What is one course you would love to teach at a university?
I actually used to teach. Architectural studio design communication. I used to teach it and I absolutely loved it.
What is one common mistake a lot of design technologists make?
They assume stuff. They assume something without really getting information from the end users. The assumption is not helping.
If you were to drive adoption in the industry, what is one thing that can move the needle the most?
Being open, being true, like being honest and not over-promising, not underselling, being honest about it and being extremely patient. Because if you're a design technologist that knows no technology, then that happened to me too. And you're talking to architects or people that are not as heavy in the technology, you need to understand half of the words maybe you're using maybe doesn't mean anything to them. So you need to really work on your words and how to communicate it to people so they really understand it. Sorry, this was more than 3 words.
What are 3 words your friends would describe you as?
You need to ask them. I don't know.
I see. Anything which we didn't cover in this interview and you'd like to end on that note?
No, I think this was a really good interview. Thank you for that. I would just say that the future is not something that will be built and we will be living in it. We are building the future today. And we cannot do it individually. We cannot do it in isolation. We need to do it together. And let's believe that we are the builders of our own future, and let's honor that and work together and create a future that we all would love and be excited to be part of, and we would be proud to leave it to our next generation. Don't think that, I'm too small, this future has nothing to do. We all are part of making the future. Let's believe that.
One last one, like for people who would like to collaborate with you, what kind of opportunities Lean Architect would be best fit, and what's the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, so my information is in LinkedIn, our website. We're very active in both, like all the events that we go. If I'm speaking somewhere, it's going to be in both platforms, even our Instagram. And the opportunities are, as we are growing, if people are interested that have been architects, engineer, contractor in the past, and good ones, not the ones that got the degree and then didn't like it. The ones that actually put buildings together and they were happy by it. But they saw the pain, and out of passion, they are using their expertise in coding, in AI, in computation, and they want to help to be part of making the future. Whenever we have opening, of course, join us. We also have a lot of like contract-based collaborations. So it's like short time when we have a project and we're like Because remember, most of the times what we're doing is not done out there. So we all share this excitement of let's fix this. Let's, so if you like that kind of life, reach out.
Amazing. Thanks a lot, Tanya. It was lovely
Thank
hosting you.
you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here and honored.